Coming up now is another sparkling Two Mics podcast. You're an unattractive fat slob.
Yes, but
right?
not quite as unattractive as you.
Unattractive fat
Not
slobs
quite
like
as unattractive as you.
like you are leading the world to the edge of a precipice of doom.
Yes.
And that precipice of doom is fatness killing you.
We are the Two Mics, and I'm delighted to say it's time to say a very, very good morning to Mr. Mike, a Porky, a Parry. Very good morning to Mr. Parry.
Yeah, very good morning, Mike, and congratulations on having a piece of world-exclusive news which you've just announced to our millions of listeners that Lukaku will not be signing for Everton.
Yes.
Nobody else in the world knows that.
Refusing to sign his contract,
Nobody
apparently.
else in the world knows that, so you've got a big one there. How did you come across that piece of news?
Well, it was first communicated to me several hours ago, actually, by the social media platform known as Twitter.
No. That's with people's opinions. Where did you get your...
No, the story itself...
No, where did you get your definitive fact from?
Excuse me, the story itself became a story on Twitter around about probably 4 or 5 hours ago.
I'm very aware of that, but where did you get
So why are you asking me a question, then?
Well, because you've just definitively announced to the world that Romelu Lukaku is not signing for Everton. So you're one ahead of everybody else. I just wanted to know.
No, I'm saying he is not signing a new contract with Everton. That is currently the position.
No, you opened the show saying he will not be signing for Everton.
Would you like to see what I've just read? It says here,
yes,
he is not signing a new contract with Everton.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Yes. So he's never going to sign a new contract with Everton?
That's not what I said, is it?
Yes, you did.
Did I say
yes,
never?
You did. No, yes, you did.
I've just read what I read, okay?
I think that
I've written it down and I've read it, and it says here, he is not signing a new contract with Everton. Is that clear enough for you?
Yes, but that's a definitive statement, isn't it?
No, it's not.
No, that means that you think he's never going to sign a new contract for Everton.
If I'd wanted to say never, I would have used the word never.
I don't think you would. I don't think you're clever enough.
Oh, you don't think I'm clever enough? Are we going to have a conversation about who's cleverer now?
Isn't it amazing how the world has gone completely bonkers and mad because a footballer and his agent and the club are still negotiating signing a new contract? Doesn't that happen every day of every week of the year in the world of football?
Actually, no, it doesn't actually. And as you
quite
rightly pointed out before the show, when we were talking to Andy and Jason, because Romelu Lukaku is one of the best footballers in the world in the position in which he plays, obviously anything around him and whether he's going to stay at the club that he's at, which is currently not in the Champions League, which he wants to be, it's going to be a story. And you should know that better than anybody. No, you've written more flyers around the world of football than anybody else in the world.
No, I haven't. And this is a flyer because all it means is that, nobody ever said that the contract was going to be signed in its present form. The famous quote from his agent, even from his agent, was 99.999% recurring.
Yeah.
Well, that's not 100%, so I've never fallen into the trap of thinking, we've got Lukaku for another 2 years or something like that.
Let's not forget the history of what happens at Everton, right? Whenever a player like Lukaku, who is worth a lot of money, who is thought to be a very, very good player, gets tapped up or starts to talk about we're not going to stay around, maybe we're going to leave. He always ends up leaving. John Stones ended up leaving.
We didn't want John Stones. We didn't want John Stones to stay. You didn't want John
Stones to leave. You sang on this very show, money can't buy me Stones. You made fun of Jose Mourinho because you said that Everton would not sell John Stones to Everton, to Chelsea.
That was John Stones in his form then. I wouldn't want John Stones back at the club now, thank you.
Yes, I know, but my point is that you said that John Stones will not leave because Everton will not sell him.
I don't think you understand, pal. I mean, you see, as well as being
Please don't call me pal. I find it demeaning and irritating.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd not regard yourself as a pal of mine, then?
I don't think I do, no.
You don't? Okay.
Well, it's not a word I would use.
That suits me,
It's not a word I would use. Pal is a word in Scotland that you use just before you give somebody the head.
Sorry,
you don't call them pal because you like them.
I thought that was Jimmy.
No.
What you doing in my street, Jimmy?
You don't call them pal unless you don't like them.
The point is that, of course, like many other people who comment on this story, you live in a gilded cage, you know nothing about the world except, trying to bounce a few headlines around. I, of course, am a businessman.
Are you talking about me?
Yes.
Are you looking to get your head staved in?
That's rather violent.
Yeah, it's violent, because if you don't stop insulting me, I'm going to walk over there and I'm going to pick up your little short arms and I'm going to beat you around the head with them.
I don't believe I've insulted you yet, actually, but I'm not afraid of insulting you because of your stupidity in the way you've presented
You've called me stupid. You said I don't know anything about the world. Sky Sports have reported this story for several hours. It says Maffey.
Oh, yes.
Maybe you'd like to ring up Sky Sports and say to them...
Sorry, who's Maffey?
Maffey is one of our listeners.
Right, OK.
He's just
thanks, Maffey, for stating the blinking obvious.
Well, why don't you ring them up and say, why are you doing this story, which is absolutely nonsensical? Why don't you tell everybody here at Talk Sport that it's a story not worth doing just because you can't see past your complete and utter blind faith in Everton?
What other agencies are doing are reporting that the contract is not going to be signed in its present form. I expected that.
Everybody's reporting it.
But you take it a stage
further. It doesn't say anything about
not going to sign the contract with Everton.
Would you like me to read what all the reports are actually saying?
No,
because you obviously haven't read any of them.
No, because we could go round in circles all night. What I'm saying to you is that I have a much broader view of the world than you.
You don't.
I run businesses.
The only view of the world that you don't run any businesses.
I run a porky scratchings business.
You do not. All right. Prove to me that you run a porky scratchings business.
Well, I've got 3 cases of them in my car, in the boot of my car.
You've been given a picture on a packet, right? Because you've been asked to endorse a packet of pork scratchings.
No. Who do you think came up with the genre of the product?
Actually, it was me.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Don't be ridiculous.
Actually, it was me that put you in touch. I was the guy that put you in touch with the company.
Don't be ridiculous.
I think it's true.
You're crazy.
Would you like me to find the tweets going all the way back to a year ago?
Well, you can if you want, but I mean that means nothing.
But you don't own the company. Come on, be honest.
I never said I did. I said
you run the company.
I run a porky scratchings business. That's what I just said.
No, you run the company. You said.
I did not. I said I run a porky scratchings business. Okay, have you got that?
It might be run a porky scratchings business.
It might be part of a bigger organisation. Nevertheless, it's down to me to make it sing and swing and work, and that is what I will do, because failure's not in my vocabulary.
Apart from when you did the internet TV station.
That was a purely experimental variance into another media.
But it was a failure.
It depends how you qualify and classify failure.
I'd say bankruptcy qualifies as a failure.
Anyway, the point is, I'm getting fed up talking about all this because obviously there is more negotiation to do between Romelu.
Well, would you like me to read you the version in the BBC?
I'd prefer to talk about your inability to spot the fact that Leicester were going to get through into the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
We can talk about that.
I think we should talk about it now.
Let me just read you a couple of things, because you're obviously missing the facts on this major story about Romelu Lukaku. Everton striker Romelu Lukaku has turned down the most lucrative contract offer in the club's history.
That's right.
So that is the story, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He is currently refusing to sign that contract.
Yeah, well,
that's what I said.
Well, I can tell you this, that clubs these days, and I shouldn't have to tell you this, clubs these days are always in the current climate of ever spiralling money injection into football and ever spiralling wages for footballers, are always going to be dealing in record contracts in their club's history. That's a matter of fact, and you know that's true because the money's going up all the time.
Yes, but
so is it really a headline to say, Romelu Lukaku turned down the most lucrative contract? Of course it's the most lucrative contract. He's the best player we've ever had in the Premier League.
Everybody else, apart from you, seems to think this is a story, okay? Including our very large and varied listenership. Here's one from Fandango. It says, great start to Porky's deluded rant about Lukaku. Everton is an average club. Lukaku is a winner. Why would he want to be at Everton?
Well, I'm not going to even answer such a ridiculous question. The point is that you can only be a winner at about 2 or 3 clubs in this country, and there are a great number of players, and the clubs who are those who have the track record of winning are competing for those players, which is exactly what's happening to Romelu Lukaku. So,
Scottish Bull says Porky's well and truly spitting the dummy out. Things are crumbling around him.
Not at all.
Then Koeman's going to be off to Barcelona. The point is, right, that the runes that you have to read in these situations are not just what the people are saying, but what they're actually not saying. And what is not being said here by the agent or by Lukaku is that pretty much we want to stay at Everton. What they're saying is that we're off.
No.
More or less.
No, they're
that's
not.
Really between the lines.
No, all they're saying is, they're saying, look, as each day goes by and Romelu Lukaku bangs in more goals into the back of the net, his value goes up. And what his
value only goes up for 1 more year because he's only got 2 more years in his contract.
What his agent is doing, and that's what agents have to do, is to keep a very sharp eye on the current value of his player, i.e. his product, and make sure he doesn't undersell anybody. And everybody in the football business understands that. This will not have come as a huge shock to Everton to learn that we are asking for certain clauses in the contract to be reviewed, i.e. probably improved. Yes. Everybody understands that except you.
Well, it's not except me. No, you're the only one who is standing out here on your own. We will end this conversation here because you are incapable of understanding that you are biased.
You can't answer the points I'm putting to you. You're going around in circles and then getting nasty and shouting and threatening to beat me up on air, all of which I think you'll find is against Ofcom rules. And you might find yourself subject to disciplinary action.
I can beat you up during the break and they won't know about it. How about that?
Oh, that's still in the studio, mate.
I'll take you outside of the studio and it's not under Ofcom rules. I'll drag you down the stairs and I'll take you in the street and I'll kick you around for a couple of minutes and then I'll come back and do the show on my own.
See, such a violent streak.
Yeah, I've got a violent streak, so don't mess with me.
Listen, I've got some really bad news for you. Okay. This is not funny, by the way, so I hope nobody's laughing, but A chap called Alexander Perepilichevny, right, he's 44, died in mysterious circumstances. This has come out of an inquest, by the way. He had a £3 million Surrey mansion. So these
is this one of the guys that we've talked about before? Because there's a part of Surrey, is there not, which is full of these kind of, well, I don't want to call them safe houses.
That's right,
but houses owned by very wealthy Russian.
This is absolutely right. St George's Hill, one of the
great golf course there, by the way.
Yeah, and one of the absolutely elite neighbourhoods of this country.
Very much.
But on this occasion, they found from his stomach lining, they found a suspected compound which matched the atomic weight of a rare and deadly vegetable poison, which they reckoned could have been switched for the herbs in his homemade soup.
Really?
Sorry, I'm not laughing about it.
No. Well, it is very cloak and dagger, though. I mean, it does. I mean, it does lend itself to a kind of. And we're not being unfair and unkind. It's just that it lends itself to a kind of spy novel.
Well, this is evidence from an inquest.
Right.
The experts identified a substance matching an extremely poisonous species of gelsemium, which is a toxic yellow-flowered plant known as heartbreak grass.
Heartbreak grass.
Heartbreak grass.
Okay.
That's what it's called, okay? Now, just a few drops in the bloodstream can trigger cardiac arrest, which is, heart attack.
It is.
Making it appear that the victim has suffered a heart attack.
And it's not traceable, presumably.
Not traceable.
Well, how have they found it, then?
Well, in a pre-inquest review, which took place at the Old Bailey, no less, so this is a very serious case, obviously, lawyers claimed, in the case I'm referring to, that police accidentally flushed away key evidence and missed threats from an organised crime group, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But it says Mr. Perepilichevny was found dead amid speculation over a KGB-style hit because he'd been helping Swiss prosecutors in a money laundering investigation involving alleged fraudulent links to the Kremlin. The money was...
Isn't this one of the guys who was supposedly one of the enemies of Putin? That was why they think that he's been targeted.
Well, who knows? I mean, it's, this is a very, very difficult situation. Now, the other thing is that they also say that a company called Legal & General...
Yes, insurance company.
Yes, provided a substantial life insurance policy for Mr. Perepilichevny shortly before his death.
Is that a different guy?
No, that's the same guy.
Oh, the same one.
Yeah, and there is a theory he may have been murdered, possibly by agents of the Russian state.
Really?
I mean, now the thing that worries me is that Legal & General have got a huge presence in Surrey, and a member of my family actually works there. Now, is the Russian...
What, you mean a member of your family works for Legal & General?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Blimey.
And
you might want to get invested in some bodyguards.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is the sort of thing that you've got to keep a very careful eye on. You know what I mean?
Well, you have.
I mean, fancy you're just sitting down in your £3 million mansion, and your maid comes and brings you soup for you, which I presume you've got in a £3 million mansion.
Soup?
Puts it on the table in front of you, and
maybe in a silver salver.
In a silver salver, and you're using your silver spoon to eat your soup.
Bottle of Krug maybe on the side.
Yeah, a bottle of Krug on the side, and all the time, what you're spooning into your mouth is a deadly toxin known as heartbreak grass.
And do you think they do it over time? So it's not like they give you the absolute sort of poisoned, the enough to kill you the first time. They give it to you over a period of time.
Could be. But anyway, the people who are the poisoners, right, they know what they're doing, because I've done some research on this. Gelsemium, this is the stuff they think went in the soup.
Oh, yeah.
3 species, 2 are native to North America and 1 to China. They're all deadly poisonous. The species alleged to have been used to kill Mr. Perepilichevny is Gelsemium elegans. Gelsemium, which has yellow flowers, has been used since early settlers arrived in America to treat fevers, but toxic alkaloids are found in all parts of the plant. And it says that victims of gelsemium poisoning suffer paralysis, and death occurs from respiratory failure. The heart stops almost simultaneously once the poison is in your system.
Wow. Anthony wishes to make you a correction.
Beware of eating soup in Surrey.
Don't eat soup in Surrey. Very good idea. Very bad idea, in fact. Litvinenko, he says, it wasn't plutonium, you plank, it was polonium.
Oh, polonium, that's right. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Plutonium is what you make atomic bombs with.
It's true. Remembered. Yeah, absolutely right. Now, we've got lots more coming up in the next hour of the show. We've got Ask Porky. We've got a whole load of questions on that basis. So if you have sent one in, you might want to keep listening. We might do that one on. Should we do it on Periscope tonight, or should we do it on Facebook Live? Or do you have a preference?
Well, Facebook Live usually, I think, extends it to a wider audience.
Yes.
Don't you? Than Periscope?
I would say probably, yeah.
Why can't we do it on both?
Well, we could do it on both, but it starts to get a bit complicated then because
Does it?
you need
mean
two
you can't
devices.
handle it?
Well, you need two devices.
Even with the 2 mics camera, you can't handle it.
Well, it's only one camera.
Yeah, I know, but it should have a multifunctional, fixture.
Well, it's got one camera, so if you have one camera, you can't take 2 pictures of the same thing, can you?
Yeah, no, I suppose
you
not.
You take one.
No, I suppose not. Now, what I need to talk to you about, a big issue which is concerning me.
Yes.
Concerning me, and of course, you know that I like to try and look after the world and everything that happens in the world.
I'm always concerned with things that concern you. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, the apparent popularity of nettles. Now, I don't like nettles. I hate nettles.
Well, I don't think anyone likes them.
Well, apparently they do. Some guy's written a book, Grass-Fed Nation. Some guy called Graham Harvey's written it, okay?
Graham Harvey.
Yeah.
Can't say I've heard of him.
And he says nettles are just fantastic, the best thing since sliced bread.
Well, I remember
and everybody should have a few in their garden.
Well, people make tea out of nettles, don't they? Well, and you can make wine out of them as well.
All sorts of things. It says here that one of... what did he say about his favourite food? Over the centuries, they've even been used to make fibres for cloth. In the early 19th century, Scottish poet Thomas Campbell wrote of sleeping in nettle sheets and dining off nettle tablecloths.
Really?
Yeah.
Be a bit jaggy, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I'd have thought so as well. But some people actually eat nettles with an egg on them. Now, I don't eat eggs. I never have done. But I certainly wouldn't eat anything.
Well, you mean eat sort of a raw nettle leaf?
Yeah. They put like you can have a bed of rocket or a bed of spinach or something like that. Yeah. You can have a bed of nettles, apparently.
Right. Well,
Did you know that?
I know of people who have eaten nettles, but I didn't think that it had become what you might describe as a delicacy. You know?
Yeah, they are delicacies.
I mean, there are some people, for example, who can grab... there's a phrase, grasping the nettle, isn't there?
Yeah.
Where you can actually grab the nettle in such a way that it doesn't sting you.
That's right. Absolutely.
But I'm somewhat haunted by the fact that when I was about 2, and I think we were in the Channel Islands on holiday, that I fell off a path that we were walking down and fell into a whole patch of nettles.
Oh, I can't stand a nettle. I hate nettles. I hated them as a kid.
Are you listening to anything I'm saying?
Yeah, what you've just said, yeah.
What have I just said?
Well, how did you then, that you fell into a patch of nettles? Now, how did you then treat the nettles?
Well, that's the point. I was stung all over my body because I think I was just wearing a nappy or something.
Right.
It was summer, And so I was
What were your parents doing, throwing you into nettle patches when you were just a baby in a nappy?
They didn't throw me into them.
How did you get into it?
Well, I mean, I think we were walking down a path down the side of a
What, in a nappy?
Yeah, because that's what sometimes you dress a baby in if it's...
Rubbish. You pick the
what
children
do you know
in
about
nappies
babies?
are carried around.
You've never had one.
Children in nappies are carried around.
That's
They don't
not
let
true.
them walk around on hills and fall into
That's
nettle
not true.
patches.
You have no idea what you're talking
Ridiculous.
about.
Anyway,
it's
go
not
on.
an area of expertise for you.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, I fell into the nettles and I was stung all over. And all I remember was my mother sort of dabbing me with calamine lotion.
Yes.
Which was about the only thing they seemed to have in those days. So I had that sort of pink effect, with cotton wool and calamine lotion. Yeah. But it was very, very painful.
Well, I was once in Cornwall, right?
Yeah.
I went on a sort of commemoration break with my sisters because we all
you told me about this trip. Yeah, to St Ives.
Certain age. That's right, St Ives. And we decided to go for a coastal walk, okay? Yeah. We went a bit off the path and we ended up literally in the middle of a nettle patch. And we had shorts on because, and my legs got terribly, terribly stung. And I was, like, terrified because I hate nettles and all that kind of stuff.
You're not allergic to them or anything, are you?
Well, I'm not allergic to them, but I was terrified of them. But anyway, believe it or not, one of my little sister went off and came back with a load of dock leaves. And she said...
Dock leaves are brilliant.
And do you know what? I rubbed them all over the nettle stings, and the nettle stings went away. I couldn't believe it.
Dock leaves are incredible.
I could not believe it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
I remember knowing about those from the early days because my dad told me about them. And you can normally find them. I mean, for example, down in Sussex where I am, the nettles grow so high.
Yeah.
Because it's a farm,
yes.
They can be over your head.
That's right.
And we had to get somebody in to treat them because they were so bad.
Yes.
Because when we first got the dog as a puppy, nettles can be quite dangerous for puppies as well. As they get older, they're fine.
That's right.
But if a puppy stings its nose on a nettle or its paws on a nettle, it can be really very uncomfortable.
Well, you see, that's strange because apparently sheep cannot be stung by nettles.
Right.
It says here in one report, although... the robust good health of sheep is partly attributable to the fact that they don't suffer from nettle stings. They tuck into nettles with great gusto. You see sheep eating them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I can't say I've ever seen a sheep eating nettles, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they do. The robust good health is attributed partly to the fact that... Now, it says here, this is the author, this guy, Graham Harvey, I'm always surprised the sting doesn't put the sheep off. After all, the nettle is made up of a complex mix of chemicals, including acids and histamine injected into the body by the tiny silica hairs, which, when coming into contact with the human skin, break and act like hypodermic needles when you brush against them. They are there for the very purpose of deterring herbivores.
Right.
So the whole idea of the chemical structure of a nettle is to stop people eating them and to stop sheep eating them.
But
sheep have become immune to them.
But what's the point of them, though, apart from stopping people from eating them?
Well, they're one of the sort of really ancient products of the earth, if you see what I mean.
Right.
And they have devised their own sort of defensive mechanism with these needles full of histamine.
Yeah, but if they're but what I'm saying is, what are they defending? Because if they're only defending themselves,
yes,
and the only thing that people would want to do is eat them. I mean, they don't seem to be good for anything. Is what I'm saying. They're weeds, aren't they? I mean, they're not particularly good for the earth.
No.
Well, what are they good for?
In the wartime cookbook, Kitchen Front Recipes and Hints, a chap called Ambrose Heath, who was an expert nutritionist, wrote that a poached egg on a bed of pureed nettle leaves covered with cheese sauce was the perfect meal containing bodybuilding, protective and energising foods. Nettles have even been used to make fibres of cloth. I told you about that. Okay. The point is, what they're saying here is that before they became covered in like these little needles, hypodermic needles, and full of histamine, they were in fact one of the most nutritious plants on Earth.
Right.
And that for some unknown reason...
But we've stopped eating them, presumably, en masse, haven't we?
Well, I think so.
Well, I mean, you're not going to suddenly now go home and think of buying some nettles. I've never seen nettles for sale, for example, even in a sort of a farm shop.
Yeah.
Oh, have you?
Hey, what? Have I ever seen what?
Have you ever seen them for sale anywhere?
No, I haven't. No, but it says here the chief value of the much reviled nettle patch is the benefits it brings to wildlife, particularly butterflies, right?
Okay.
So while thuggish nettles may appear to dominate the wildflower meadows in some parts of England, they are actually essential food plants for the egg-laying of some of our most beautiful butterflies.
Right. But they're in the decline as well, aren't they?
I think so. The summer favourite, the peacock butterfly, is best known for its unmistakable eye spots on its wings.
I see.
Which is a defence against bird or rodent predators, OK?
Uh-huh.
Emerging from hibernation
What's the
in
point
spring,
of all this, by the way?
Well, just to tell you that there is a value in nettles that you don't think there is.
Well, I don't think there is. I've had all mine sort of more or less sort of Asian oranged out of existence.
Have you?
I've had them all taken out.
Well, have you got nettles on your land?
I've told you this. You weren't listening.
Yes, I was.
You know the garden that you saw?
Yes,
right?
I see.
Which
yes,
is very large,
yes,
right?
Yes.
It was when I first moved there.
Right.
There were huge patches of nettles all over it.
Right.
Right. And I had to have them removed.
Right, OK. Now, it says here, I'm getting to the truth of this now, the reason why butterflies lay their eggs on nettles is because predators can't get to the eggs.
Right, well, that makes sense.
That makes great sense, doesn't it? Eh? It says, after 10 days...
Unless they're sheep, of course, because the sheep can eat the nettles.
Yeah, the sheep could eat them, you're absolutely right. 10 days after the eggs are laid, they hatch and the black spiny caterpillars feed en masse in silken tents on top of the nettles. Those that escape being eaten by spiders or parasited by wasps leave the nettles to pupate. Another nettle-dependent butterfly is the red admiral with its... What's wrong?
I don't know why he's telling me all this.
No, I'm telling you this because,
why?
I mean, well, some guy has written a book on nettles, right? He says that
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, well, I mean...
But when does it stop?
Well, look... For anybody to, according to a report from the charity Plant Life...
Plant Life?
Yeah, the countryside is now being overrun again by nettles and hogweed.
Yeah.
and you should watch in your own garden because it's going to come to your own garden soon because all the...
Well, I've already had it in my garden.
All the nettle spores are blowing around, right? Yeah. And you'll find that the nitrogen compounds being pumped out by diesel engines and industry have led to a resurgence in the nettle crop in this country. And more than a third of flowering plants fail to thrive in nitrogen-enriched soil, which means they are very vulnerable to drought, frost and disease.
Great.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're finished now.
Well, nettles are going to take over the country unless we get to...
Well, I thought that was a good thing. You're now telling me they're bad.
Well, I don't like them because they sting you.
Right. Okay, then. Well, I guess that's the end of that story.
Yeah.
This is not to be confused with a little video that we made just before you went up to Wigan.
Of course.
I did what can only be described as quite a good impersonation of Donald Trump. We may have to revisit that. Yeah. Do you know, I've got the wig actually sitting at home.
Right.
Which is slightly off-putting.
And your children have been trying it on.
They've been trying it on, and so's the dog, actually.
Yes.
But we'll come back to that another time because we're going to speak to now, genuinely, Jared Rizzi, who is, of course, the White House correspondent for Sirius XM. Yeah. It's been another interesting week in the life of Donald Trump and the 45th presidency. He's had his travel ban overturned once again by a federal judge over in Hawaii. He's also had his press secretary come out and say that Britain, in the guise of the security services, have somehow been helping Barack Obama to bug him. It's all very strange. Jared, very good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Well, good to be with you guys. And I was not expecting to have a particularly British angle to talk about with you when we were discussing this several hours ago and arranging for me to come on. But here we are. Sean Spicer has come out and said that GCHQ has done some things which they have flatly denied. I enjoyed, by the way, the somewhat lacking in the normal British understatement here, utterly ridiculous and should be ignored. I find that that is not per what I would normally expect from...
No, it's not. I mean, he's encouraging others to use undiplomatic language in the same way that he does, really, isn't he? I mean, Mike Parry here, he has a point when he said earlier, well, I mean, it's not the first time. I was basically saying that, as Donald Trump said himself, he's a bit of a fantasist. I mean, it's not the first time that the politicians have told lies or been economical with the truth, but he's taken it to a new level, isn't he?
Well, and this is the thing. I mean, what we would be talking about in any other circumstance is, the president's budget, which is out today, the health care reform that House Republicans and Senate Republicans, some of them, few of them actually, growing fewer and fewer, shrinking fewer and fewer rather, are trying to put out there. We would be talking about any of these policy matters, but instead we're talking about something that the president tweeted out at the beginning of the month and has provided no evidence for. The White House still saying that he's going to be vindicated somehow. It feels a lot like the birtherism, where this is just kind of this untrue thing that is just metastasized and there's no way rhetorically out of it. That's what it feels like to someone who's been in the room for both of these. But it's very strange now to see not only, this is a Five Eyes relationship. These countries do not spy on each other. And to accuse of that is something really, I mean, forget the fact that he's accusing a former president of doing it, but it's also this completely unprecedented. And I'm getting tired of saying completely unprecedented, to be frank.
Yeah, right.
Jared, isn't this another example of how anti a politician the president is, on the basis that most politicians, when they drop a clanger and make a terrible mistake in a one-off statement, then try and cover it up with all sorts of spokesmen saying what the president really meant was this. Not Donald Trump. He made a statement. Everybody tells us it's a ridiculous statement. It's not true, but he just keeps saying it. He has not employed, has he, a team of PR professionals or hired hands or even, White House staff to get him out of it.
But what they have done, guys, is they've moved the goalposts. What the president originally said and tweeted was incendiary. He said that the former president, there's three big parts to this. The former president, part one, former President Obama, that's a big accusation. Set up a wiretap, also a big accusation of Trump Tower before. I mean, there's three provable parts to this. None of them have any evidence so far. And by the way, the House and Senate intelligence committees have said no evidence so far. They haven't seen. The president tweeted as if he already had the evidence, all it seems that he's done is essentially look at a couple news reports that were talking about opinion columnists from conservative talk radio, basically. You guys, but a little bit farther to one side. Yeah. And now we've moved.
Yeah, a lot farther to one side, actually, if you don't mind me saying so, Joe.
Yeah. But here we are now where they're saying, any surveillance ordered by anybody that just happened to target then candidate Trump. That's a big shift of the goalpost. We are playing on a totally different field now.
Well, right. I mean, it's a little bit like the Sweden thing, isn't it? Where Donald Trump came out and said that, look at what happened in Sweden last night.
These riots.
And when it turned out that they were being, he'd been watching something on Fox that was a documentary, a report of some kind, they sort of watered it down to say, but look at the figures. Sweden's a very dangerous problem because.
But then a few nights later, in fact, it happened, didn't it?
Well, it wasn't. It didn't really happen. It's just, it's as you say, they set this hair running, and then they decide that they're going to justify it in some way because even one small part of it might be true.
Yeah.
And the other part of it that was very much on display today was attacking the media. It was Sean Spicer was coming out here, sword and shield in hand, and the argument was, we are going to talk about how you guys are talking about this story, i.e., you're citing the House Intelligence Chairman saying that there's no evidence, but where were you guys when the House Intelligence Chairman said maybe Russia's not such a big deal? As if the media are playing this game of, I don't even know what, but that is where they're most comfortable with us as the enemy, and that is a place that's it's a very dangerous place to begin a presidency.
Listen, Jared, this sounds a bit odd, and it may be that I was reading it the wrong way, but did I honestly see a tweet from an official McDonald's source, one of the biggest companies in America?
Yes, this is a great story.
Which today looks as though they publicly have barracked the president and said, we don't want you anymore, bring back President Obama. What's behind all this?
I think this is just some social media staffer who was probably going to get fired at the end of the week anyway, deciding to go out in a blaze of glory. I don't think there's much to this beyond a very public brand with a very big profile.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a world brand. You're talking about one of the most famous.
Yeah, but I mean, this has happened in the past, hasn't it, where somebody gets hold of the Twitter account. And funnily enough, I saw a tweet earlier on today from someone where McDonald's is so kind of inept, as quite often some of these big companies are, that they put out their apology and their correction, but the offensive tweet was still pinned to the top of the thing.
That was so good.
And the tweet says, you are actually a disgusting excuse of a president, and we would love to have Barack Obama back. Also, you have tiny hands.
Very odd. But I mean, I suppose that illustrates once again the depth of animosity towards your President Trump, amongst a certain section of society, and they're not going away, are they?
I don't know if it demonstrates anything beyond the one person who is probably, and by the way, a company that is now probably using two-factor authentication for their Twitter account.
Yeah.
But, the best part of this to me was watching people tweet in response to this.
Right.
The commercial from, I think it was the 90s, where Donald Trump and Grimace, the purple giant puppet character of McDonald's, in a commercial together, because that's how deeply ingrained the President Trump is in the American psyche. He's been on, television shows, not just his own, but like half a dozen sitcoms and commercials for McDonald's. I mean, he's just been everywhere. And so the fact that he's on the other side of the McDonald's ledger is, I guess, some kind of cosmic balance.
And this is what struck me as interesting as well, because on the at the very moment, in fact, that the federal judge was blocking his travel ban, sort of part 2. He was walking out to a rally. Now, I don't think I've seen, apart from the odd military-style visit that the presidents always used to make to a sort of military base, Trump has taken this whole he's taken this whole sort of popularity rally thing very, very much to heart. He much prefers to go out and preach to his fans, doesn't he, rather than actually talk to the press.
Well, there's a couple big parts of this, and you've actually nailed on something really big here, because normally presidents don't even file for re-election for about 3 years. He did it within about 3 weeks, and he's already started doing these campaign rallies. They're different from public events of the president because they can actually scoop up your information and then pester you for money, and he also gets to control who's in the room, which is why you'll see fewer people who are protesting at these events because they've controlled the room. And yes, the president really does enjoy that. He seems to... I guess he almost gets energized by it. But yeah, it's these campaign-style rallies 2 months into the presidency. It's very weird as a White House reporter to be seeing that so early and so hard. He did address the ban, saying that he thinks the courts are making a big mistake taken that we're all going to be in dire danger because of this judicial decision.
And I suppose that remains to be seen, but it's interesting that the court used his own PR machine to say, well, they were on TV a few weeks ago saying actually the second part of the ban isn't any different from the first part of the ban, and so therefore we're not allowing it even more. But what about the visit to Britain? Because there's been some suggestion that might be delayed slightly. This was before he accused GCHQ of bugging him. So I wonder whether Theresa May is now going to withdraw the offer, because she's been under pressure to withdraw the offer anyway.
Yes,
that he comes for a state visit. Will she use this as an excuse to say, well, hang on a second, if you're now accusing us of bugging you, then maybe we shouldn't be quite so friendly after all?
I'm not sure, but the Taoiseach of Ireland was here at the White House today, and this is, of course, a multi-day affair where the Ireland's prime minister is basically the opposite of the Dalai Lama for American politicians. Everyone wants to meet with him. Everyone wants to be seen meeting with him, and he actually promised going to Ireland first. So maybe in this current climate, Ireland's a bit safer for him to go visit, but at this point, it looks like that is still on, and the president's still making promises to go to a a number of places around the world.
Good. Very, very fascinating stuff. Well, listen, Jared, thank you very much indeed. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Always good to talk
luck
to you.
with the impending White House press briefing, because it doesn't seem to be getting any easier for the journalists, which of course it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be any easier for them, but it's all very interesting stuff. Katie says this, by the way. Please can you wish my husband Jack a happy 28th birthday? He listens to the podcast every day and saw you at Dingwalls last year.
Really? What's his name again?
Jack,
very happy 28th, mate. And believe me, life begins at 28. I know from my experience of it.
Okay, excellent.
Crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as hoes. Yeah, but maybe
Sandra Lee's going to join us very shortly.
Good.
But I've got a story for you today. Because I was not terrified, but horrified to see the footage from Mount Etna.
I saw it.
There's in all the papers this morning as well.
Yeah.
There's a BBC crew, some of whom were quite badly injured.
Very, very close to it, didn't
right
they?
up at the top.
That's
the reason I'm going to tell you about it is because, as you know, we went to Sicily over in October.
Certainly did.
And lived in this place that was sort of in the shadow of Etna. And I told you about how in the garden they had all these, a load of ash from one of the last eruptions, which had come all over the house.
Yeah.
But there's a great picture of me, which I'm going to put out now on Twitter.
Why is it a great picture?
Because it's me standing basically right near the top of Etna.
What, while it's erupting,
Well, it wasn't erupting, but you can see smoke coming out of it, right?
Hang on, what's great about it if it's not erupting?
Well, it's great because...
It's just a picture of you on some sort of hill. Could be any hill anywhere in the world.
Well, it's not just that. It shows me at the top of a place, which is, an incredibly dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
Because these things, that when they do erupt, and people forget...
Yeah, but hang on.
Nature
You're
is.
trying to make out that you were, gritted your teeth and walked up in the face of molten lava.
You'll see it. Look, you can see it smoking behind me. You can see it smoking behind me.
Right, I'll just describe this. I'll paint pictures with words,
and
okay?
then, I can tweet it out as well, by the way.
So you appear to be standing on a sort of gravel car park, right?
It's not a gravel car park. That is the ash which surrounds the summit of Etna.
About 6 miles, I would say, from Etna itself.
Not at all.
You say there is smoke coming out the top of Etna.
Yes.
I say it looks like a low cloud settling on the top of Etna. That's exactly what it looks like.
Why are you so mealy-mouthed and incapable of accepting that I've actually done anything?
You're trying to make out you've made this dangerous mission up Etna. I'm telling you.
Well, how do you think I got up there?
It's complete. Well, you probably climbed up there, but
you weren't
climbing over molten lava.
I did not climb up there.
This is not
you complete plank. There's a cable car which takes you all the way to the top, right?
Well, yeah.
There is then a further bus that takes you to the very, very dangerous summit part.
So, as I said, you're in a car park, yeah?
No, I'm not in a car park.
It looks like you're in a car park.
That's because you don't understand the nature of volcanic ash. All around that picture is volcanic ash, okay?
Is it really?
That's what it is. It's black.
Could be anything, mate. Could be anything.
I don't know why I bother showing you anything, which is very interesting.
All I'm trying to
say... Let's go back to your fantasy stories about flying a helicopter, shall we?
No, here we are.
There's no photographs of you flying a helicopter, but we spent 20 minutes talking about it. I show you a photograph of me on Etna, and you immediately...
But you're not on Etna. You're not on Etna.
I'm standing at the top of Etna, you plank.
You're standing on the foothills of Etna at best.
You've never even been there, have you?
You're standing on the foothills of Etna at best.
You've never been there.
There's a few bits of rubble around, but there's no sign of red-hot molten lava.
What do you think the smoke is?
To me, it doesn't look like smoke. It looks like low cloud.
Well, of course, you are a seismology expert, aren't
you? The other thing I would say is that you look so frightened about, being suddenly burnt by lava. You've got a pair of white shorts on. You've got a pasty blue sort of T-shirt. And a jumper.
Polo shirt, actually.
Polo shirt.
And I'm so frightened that I've got a jumper sort of draped over my shoulders.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So all I'm saying is, how can you possibly pass this off to our millions of listeners as, the terrifying trip up Etna?
I'm not saying it's terrifying.
Etna.
I'm not saying it's terrifying. I'm just saying, isn't it interesting that I was there not very long ago? I'm sorry you're not interested in it because you're not in the picture, but I will send the picture out, and the people who have been to Etna will understand how high up I actually am.
Yes.
In fact, I'll tell you how high up it was. The air was considerably thinner than it was at the base of the mountain. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Who told you that?
Well, I could tell by the way I was breathing.
But because you walked up about 400 yards...
No, I hadn't. I took you don't listen to a word I'm saying. I took a cable car up there,
Well,
okay?
I tell you what, just getting out the cable cars really puffed you out because you carry such a gross amount of weight on your own frame.
Let's go back to some more tales from Porky's fantasy world, then, shall we? Let's talk about the time you drove a submarine, shall we? Shall we do that?
No, I've never
Let's
driven
do
a
that.
submarine.
You've never driven a submarine?
No,
how surprising. No. Well, I'll tell you what, for all the people who have
been in a submarine.
actually got a brain...
I could go in a submarine.
On. For all the people who have got a brain and a discerning capability of their own, I shall send out this picture of me up Etna, where I went on a family holiday, which was very enjoyable. Not only because it was a lovely part of the world, but because I was away from you for another bloody week.
Oh, dear me, you're getting really het up now, aren't you? Look, I'm glad you enjoyed your holiday, but I just don't think that you should wind up the audience and tell them, oh, my brave mission up Etna.
I didn't say it was
brave.
Nothing
brave about it. It wasn't even erupting.
I didn't say it was brave.
Yeah, you did. You said a terrifying mission.
I didn't say it was terrifying.
Yeah.
When did I say that?
You did. You said that.
I just said it so happens that there are stories in the papers this morning because there is some footage taken by a BBC crew of the moment when Etna actually erupted very close to them. And it's a very frightening experience, I'm sure, to be caught up in. Well, I was not caught up in a frightening experience. However, it's an interesting picture.
Wouldn't that be the same, quite seriously now, right? Just look at the logic of what I'm going to tell you. Wouldn't it be the same as you suddenly coming in on Monday and saying, oh, look at this. I say, oh, what's that, Mike? And there's a picture of you in a field. And you say, you won't believe this, but that was the scene of the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Wasn't I brave to go on to the battlefield of Hastings in 1066? And I would say, but there is no battle taking place, Mike. It's not like you're going to get an arrow in the eye. It's not like you're getting trampled by war horses. Nothing's happening there. That's exactly the same as your picture on me bravely, scaling the slopes of Etna.
You're projecting your own ridiculously fantastical personality onto one of my stories. I never said I was brave. I never said that it was dangerous.
I think you did.
What I said was...
you did, honestly. I don't want to have a go at you, but I think you did.
People want to ask me whether I said that, whether they remember whether I said that, that's one thing. But I certainly am not in the business of exaggerating every story that I tell.
No.
All I'm saying is that given that it's in the news, it's quite an interesting picture, and I'm going to put it out.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry that you
should.
don't like that you're not in it. And I'm sorry that you don't like that we're talking about something which doesn't involve you.
No,
and I'm sorry that
out.
you're now rubbishing something else, which I've done with my family.
I'm not rubbishing
But if you want to be that kind of a guy, that's fine. Just fine.
I'm not trying to
Absolutely no problem.
I'm just putting it into perspective, that's all, and that's my job, isn't it?
Let's hear some more of your stories.
As a communicator. By the way, you can go in a submarine, just round the corner from where I live.
Really?
Because just round the corner from where I live, down in Gosport, is Britain's only submarine museum.
Really?
And you go on board a proper, real submarine.
Right, have you done that? Why haven't you done that?
Well, I haven't had time. And
you haven't had time?
Well, I haven't had time, have I?
How long have you lived down there?
10 years.
And you haven't had time in 10 years to go on the submarine?
No, I haven't. No.
Why?
Hey?
You've got time to go out to all the various local hostelries every time you're there.
Well, that's usually for meetings with the local people. I think if you live somewhere, my belief is always, if you live somewhere, immerse yourself in the local community.
Is
you know
that
what
right?
I mean? Yeah.
You're only there about 3 times a year.
Well, that's not quite true, but I mean, you're absolutely right. I do have commitments.
How many times have you been there this year?
I can't count because I can count, but
you can't count. I think there's never a truer word spoken.
I can't remember the number of times I've been there this year because I mean, if I said to you, how many times?
Difficult, is it?
How many times you've been down to see your family this year? You wouldn't know.
I would know exactly how many times.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. I've been there every weekend, for example, aside from the one weekend where I actually went to America. But even then, I was there on a Friday. Yes. So I've actually been there, I would say, every single week of this year.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, you know that because that's a regular pattern. I don't have such a regular pattern because my life is not compartmentalised as neatly as yours is because I have a lot more things to do.
You have a lot more things to do than I do. Is that right?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Yeah,
yeah, but also your memory isn't quite what it was, is it?
My memory is everything, mate. It's just that, I can't keep a log of everything I do, otherwise I'd spend all day filling in a diary, wouldn't I?
Do you remember the last time you signed an autograph for somebody?
Last time I signed an autograph? For somebody?
Yeah.
I signed a couple of books yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where?
at our distributors.
Did you?
Yes, because they were sending them off me. By the way, sorry.
More in terms of in person.
Can I just say, by the way, I'm awfully sorry that some books have taken a long time to get back to you. 2 copies of Rooney Tunes were sent to me. I'm sorry that they got stuck in the system somewhere. They've been signed to the people who sent them and dispatched back to you. Hope you've got them. And also the DVD that should have reached one of our great loyal followers on the 14th of this month for their birthday. Sadly, is missed by a couple of days. Again, got stuck in the system, but I've sent a letter of apology along with the DVD. Thank you. Sorry, why are you asking me this question?
I'm just wondering how good your memory is.
What do you mean?
Well, excuse me, I'm just sending out a picture. I'll have to get back to this because we haven't got any time now.
Right.
I'm asking you whether you remember signing an autograph recently for somebody.
I signed 11 actually yesterday because...
I'm not talking about at your distribution centre.
No, this was not at my distribution centre. This was at a hostelry who had acquired a card of Porky scratchings.
Oh, right. How did they acquire it? You gave it to them?
No. They got it themselves.
Where did they get it from?
From the distribution centre. They'd ordered it and it had arrived.
Oh, I see.
So I was asked to go along. I did. I signed each individual packet, Porky, and I signed the card, very best wishes to all concerned.
Oh, so what, you signed it for people that were buying them?
No, what's happening is they're now going to go up in the bar of the public house, which is called The Well.
So when somebody goes in to buy one of these packets, they can buy it signed by you?
Yes, they can, yeah. What are you laughing for?
That's pathetic.
No, it's not, because you haven't heard the full story.
I haven't got time for the full story.
Well, it's a very good story, and you're going to really regret having said that, I'm afraid.
Well, I don't mind hearing it. I'll hear it later.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're going to regret it.
I know that you don't like to...
You've created a terrible faux pas for yourself.
Well, how's that?
Well, because you have.
Why?
Well, because I did it for a children's charity.
So? You haven't sold anything yet.
Every packet that is sold, the money from those will go to a children's charity.
What, you mean all the money?
All the money.
What, you mean apart from the money that goes to the company?
No, all the money will
so
go...
the company's giving all that up, are they?
Absolutely.
Really? Well,
Absolutely.
we might have to hold you to that.
Yeah.
Do you come from a land down under? Women go and men wonder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
We're going to talk to Sandra Lee, our favourite Australian, who is down under in Sydney. Sandra, very good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning to you, chaps. And should I be calling Porky Prince Andrew?
Well, I mean, because he's flying. Well, he's wondering. He's forgotten what the link is there because he's claiming that he knows how to fly a helicopter. But I mean, I'll tell you what. If you were stupid enough to get into anything with him other than even a car, you wouldn't last very long.
Well, I tell you what, Sandra, flying a helicopter with me would be safer than being in the back of a yellow cab hurtling down 3rd Avenue in Manhattan like we used to, bladderated in drink.
I'm not sure that was ever me being bladderated.
I'm pretty damn sure it was. Talking about
his memory is not really what it was. You see, you'll have very different memory of your encounters with Porky.
Excuse me, nothing nefarious. Anyway, Sandra, great to have you on the show again. Thank you very much. Mike and I were only discussing last week about some case which has become pretty highly publicised in Australia, in which backpackers, British ones as well, getting themselves into a bit of trouble because they go to these incredible raves that apparently take place, on the beaches of Australia at this time of the year, and young people from all over the world turn up, and often they become, public order problems, but putting people in danger as well.
Yes, there are. I think drugs and alcohol have a lot to do with that. They're taking, the wrong type of medication. Not medication, it's illegal drugs. They're getting into trouble. They go swimming. Some of them have been getting into trouble in the water. Others have been hooking up with the wrong people. And we've just had this horrendous case that's come to light last Sunday, gone, of a young British backpacker who had met a young boy, a young Australian man at an Australian Day party this year, so only in January. She's gone on a bit of a holiday with him, and it turns out that it's been 2 months of absolute nightmare. She's being repeatedly raped and assaulted. It's just the most terrifying ordeal that you could imagine. And thankfully she was discovered by police, and she's now safe, but Goodness knows how she's going to recover from that ordeal.
And is there a sort of, has it become something, because, over here we get for a while,
raves.
But there's a certain type of rave that everybody goes to for a while, then it kind of dies out.
These
and
illegal ones in country estates and all that.
And that doesn't happen really so much anymore. No. So is this like a fad, do you think, Sandra, or is it something that's been going on for a while?
No, I think it's more of a fad. I think it's exactly what's going on over there. Somebody gets an idea, a hot idea, and they put it up on social media, on Facebook, and then all of a sudden you've got everybody turning up, and then it sort of gets out of hand, and therein lies your problem.
Yeah, there was one in Newcastle the other day, funnily enough. I don't know if you saw this, where the crowd were all sort of giving, or the people who were going were giving instructions how to get there.
Yeah, that's right.
Which involved going under the streets, and they all had to walk through a sort of underground lake, practically, which is like 2 feet with water.
Yeah.
And they started all getting panicky and calling the police. It's all a bit dodgy.
It's all the social networking thing, isn't it? But the thing is, Sanders, I'm sure you're aware, Australia is a huge magnet for young kids who go on these gap years. Now, I am totally against gap years. I believe, like you do, I'm sure, because you have my strong work ethic, that as soon as you leave...
Talking about now?
Excuse me, as soon as you leave school, you should go and earn yourself a living. For some unknown reason, parents let their kids, when they're 18 and 19, go drifting off around the world. Australia is a huge magnet for them because they love the idea of the beach-style life. And so these sort of problems must crop up all the time.
We have so many international tourists, young kids doing that gap year, and a lot of them do it not only for 1 year, but they do it for 2 years.
Right.
So they're here, and they do. They provide a lot of the workforce actually for our harvesting for summer crops and winter crops, but that's about it, because they're only allowed to work for a certain amount of time, and they're not allowed to earn more than $20,000. But they do cause an enormous amount of problems.
They do. Do they still get onto the sheep shearing stations? Because that's a great image, isn't it? Somebody turning up and suddenly getting onto a sheep shearing station somewhere in the outback and getting
sheep shearing station.
Yeah, getting a
Have
pair.
You ever had a go at that?
No, getting a pair of electric shears and start shearing sheep. I suppose that still goes on, does it?
Yeah, not as much. I think the only time that they get anywhere on a sheep farm these days is to be the cook or the cleaner.
So remember, Prince William famously did it, didn't he?
Did he?
I don't remember if it was in Australia or New Zealand, but when they were down under anyway, he was filmed sort of trying to... because they try and do it as fast as possible, don't they, to shear
that's right,
sheep.
yeah. Well, they have sheep shearing like competitions, don't they? These guys, tie your kangaroo down... boy and all that kind of stuff. But, no...
and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. But, Sandra...
Listen, I want to ask you about the spider.
Exactly.
Is the spider still in the house, or have you got rid of it?
Well, I don't know if it's still in the house, but I haven't seen it for the last 3 nights. So it's gone AWOL. So it could be still here. What it was doing, it was be out feeding for a night, and then it would get huge, even bigger and bigger, and then it would disappear for 24 hours, and then it would come back. So I'm not sure if it's actually disappeared altogether or if it's moved out and taken up better lodgings elsewhere.
Oh, I see.
What you mean? Might sort of trade it up, as
might be creeping around. Spiders are okay; they're harmless.
They're not all harmless. Some of them are actually deadly.
Well, I agree with that, except for the deadly ones. Yeah. Now, getting back to just
what a plank.
Excuse me.
It's hard to believe this.
Excuse me. Just getting back to an issue I raised with you a few seconds ago, Sandra, on the work ethic. You and I, of course, brought up in the same work ethic. I think you were a cadet reporter, weren't you, in your start of your career? And I was a trainee journalist. But in this country these days,
when are you going to qualify?
The work ethic has all but disappeared because of the liberalisation of the whole of society. Is that the same in Australia? Do young people in Australia still want to, make their names and their fortunes by working hard?
Well, I think there are some people who do, but I think there's a real sense of entitlement along a lot of young kids. They get out of university and they think that they can go straight into a $90,000 job straight away without having to do any of without doing the hard yards.
Yeah.
And you're right. There was a report out this week in Australia actually that in the last 2 years in New South Wales, which is where I live, that the number of apprentices taking up apprenticeships, which is sort of doing your 3-year trade and all your training, has dropped by 50%. So we have 50% fewer new sparkies, electricians, chippies being builders. We're going to have a massive problem in the years to come.
You see, that is dreadful. And do you know what?
Same situation here, isn't it?
Of course it is. In this country, we used to have universities running alongside technical colleges, and the technical colleges taught people how to be plumbers and bricklayers and that sort of thing. That's all but gone.
Polytechnics they had as well, didn't they?
It's all but gone. It's all but gone. Is that the same in your country?
It's absolutely the same, and what they're doing is they're trying to shove through a whole pile of young students into university who really don't have the desire or the aptitude or the nous to do it, and it's just ridiculous. It's creating, a whole pile of graduates who've got no jobs to go to and no real qualifications.
Well, I'll tell you what,
interesting. We were talking to a correspondent over in the White House quite recently, just about an hour or so ago, about Donald Trump, and I mean, I was seeing that one of the first ambassadors to China for Australia, Stephen Fitzgerald, was talking about this the other day. That actually, a bit like that badge we used to see in New York, it's Frank's world, we all live in it. It's actually China's world, and we all live in it now. So, is it time that Australia is going to look, or other countries going to look at having more of an important relationship with China than, say, with America and the rest of Europe?
Well, I think that Australia has a pretty important relationship with China already, but I don't think anyone would argue that our primary relationship will, for a very long time to come, not be with America. It's just, it's the superpower. Even though we have huge trade links and huge diplomatic ties with China, America is still going to be number one. Oh. And that chap who you were talking about is a lifelong Sinophile, and he tends to be from the left of, political spectrum, which is where they all are.
Yeah, no, that's right. We'll put America down, all that kind of stuff. Just finally, Sandra, while I've got you on, I've got a report in front of me. 85% of the Great Barrier Reef coral is being badly damaged by warming seas. It's like a natural happening. Is this something you're aware of?
Yes, it is. In fact, we've talked about this before too. Last year there was a problem with the bleaching of the coral, and the same thing has happened again this summer with the slight percentage increase in sea temperature. But it's been happening since year dot. It comes and goes. It recovers, it gets bleached, it recovers, it goes along fabulously for 20 or 30 years, and then you have the same cycle.
Sure. And just finally, Sandra...
Well, then we need to get an update on the kangaroo attacks.
The kangaroo attack in a minute, but I've got something...
You just said one finally already. No, it's the second finally.
No, but Sandra will be interested in this. You remember the mutiny on the Bounty? Obviously, a great happening historically. You know that a new report suggested it wasn't actually Captain Bligh, the guy who was cast away in the boat, who was mad. It was Fletcher Christian, who was a nutter and completely mad. And that Captain Bligh was one of the greatest sailors ever, because in that little rowing boat into which he was put, he managed to navigate his way through the Great Barrier Reef without any charts or anything, just looking at the sun. This man was a genius. Is that recognised in Australia?
Yes, I think it is. I think that the two sides...
Hold the front page, right? It's a story from 200 years ago.
Well, I'm telling you.
You're mad.
No, he did. He did. I mean, we all know the story. We all know the story of the mutiny on the Bounty, don't we? And
apparently not, because apparently everything's not as it would seem.
Yeah, but no, you've interrupted Sandra. Sandra was telling me how in how high esteem is that man held in Australia?
Look, I don't know very much about it, but I would say in some esteem.
Yeah, in some esteem.
Yeah, let's wait until there's another movie made. Maybe you could play Fletcher Christian, the nutter.
Well, yeah, he was a nutter. He was a madman. Captain Bligh was a good guy.
Okay, Sandra, thank you very much indeed, as ever. I'm terribly sorry that the conversation seemed to sort of ratchet off into some bizarre direction of Porky's imagination. But have a lovely time and give our regards to the spider. Yeah. Sandra Lee there reporting in from New South Wales, Sydney, of course, to be precise. Here's one from Steve. He says this. Great shows. This is from Chris. Great shows always, guys. Could you give my little boy Ronnie, who was born yesterday, a shout-out? So born yesterday.
Wow.
Newest young listener to the show.
One-day-old Ronnie. Ronnie, congratulations on coming into this world. We'll try and make it good for you, and you have a long and productive life.
Thank you very much indeed.
Don't take the path in life that MG's taken, otherwise you'll turn out a wrong 'un.
Ronnie's a great name for a baby, isn't it? We are the two mics. You've got a lot of interesting comments coming in about your Nettle scenario, right? Good. Woodenhead says, well, that intriguing story about Nettles has really enhanced and improved my life.
Well, I hope it will.
Thanks, Mike.
I hope it will. I know that some people will say, was there a point to that? The point to that is it's the world in which we live, and you've got to be aware of things that are happening around you, and if I can help to enlighten, then I will.
Cola says this, peppermint and nettle or ginger and nettle green teas are excellent hangover cures. Ugh. They purify the toxins from the alcohol. Here's one from Glenn, who says, that's 10 minutes of my life wasted listening to Porky's Nettle rant.
Sorry.
A load of Biloxios.
I'm sorry, you need to up your intelligentsia game, pal.
And this one from Thomas, who says, my God, MG, am I listening to Mike Parry's Gardening World?
Yes.
I think I will start listening to the shipping forecast on Radio 4.
That's very nice, isn't it? Thank you very much indeed.
Along with Fastback. Now, why are we playing the Beach Boys here, by the way?
Nettle invasion. Don't tell me Bergerac is coming back. Ha, 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 says one correspondent. Was his name Nettles?
John Nettles,
John Nettles, right.
Bergerac.
I tell you why we're playing the Beach Boys there. I think they are one of the most ageless groups that have ever been invented. You know what I mean?
Really, are they?
Well, no, what I mean is their music. Their music. Not
their music can be described as ageless.
Exactly.
It always makes you think of the summer.
Oh, it makes you think of the summer, open-top car, roaring down Pacific Coast Highway, you know, the waves from the Pacific crashing in and all that kind of stuff.
Not going over 55.
Not going over 55, no, because you'd get lifted. But anyway, Mike Love, he's the lead singer, but he's also described as the lyricist, so I suppose he wrote some of the songs.
Yeah.
76 today. First hit,
that's pretty old for a rock star, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. First hit, California Girls, 1965. I thought they were on the scene a bit before that, but anyway.
Well, I think they sort of formed themselves into a band in the early part of the 60s, didn't they?
That's right, yeah. But their music, you know, like, you're absolutely right. You have a barbecue in the summer, or, in fact, I got invited back to a friend's house, after we'd been out to some lunch last year, and they just put the Beach Boys on for the next 2 hours.
Right.
And it just lightened everybody's life up. They loved it, you know? You know, Barbara Ann,
you don't play,
Help Me Rhonda.
But the funny thing is, you don't find yourself playing it in the winter.
No, you don't. You're absolutely right.
I mean, like, if you're sitting in a car and it's raining, you don't put the Beach Boys on.
That's right. Ba, 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 ba,
Is this just an excuse for you to start singing?
And help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda,
Yeah, all right.
help.
Yeah.
I think it's great nature stuff. And what I was about to say was... I've got 3 copies of the Best of the Beach Boys.
3 copies of the Best of the Beach Boys?
Yeah, I have,
Not the exact same CD?
No, various versions, because over the years they change, don't they? But
I suppose so.
I've got one in Stockbroker Bar, I've got one down the coast, I've got one in the car.
Really?
Yeah, because I still like playing it a bit sometimes in the summer.
Okay.
I think they're great.
I told you my car doesn't play CDs, didn't I?
Oh, doesn't it?
No.
Oh, it's a bit ancient, is it?
No, it's modern, actually.
Yeah.
No, only ancient cars play CDs. That's
really?
the point.
Is that the case? Yeah. But anyway, Mike Love, of course, was not a member of the famous Wilson family who provided 3 members of the Beach Boys. And I think Al Jardine... No, was Mike Love a cousin? I think he was a cousin of the Wilson boys, wasn't he? Yeah.
I think he was a cousin, yeah.
So Dennis Wilson jumped off his boat in Ventura Beach, didn't he, and never resurfaced?
Well, it's sort of tragic story around all of them, really, isn't it?
That's right.
Quite a few of them have passed away earlier than they should have done.
Brian Wilson, of course, had terrible struggles with mental health and all that kind of stuff, didn't he? But it is widely accepted as a result of ingesting quite a lot of nefarious substances, was partly to blame.
True.
And the other Wilson, who was Carl, what happened to him?
Carl Wilson, I think he's still around, isn't he?
No,
isn't he the one that's still alive?
No. Brian's the one who's still alive, isn't he? The guy who wrote all the records, the Genie Eye.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on the Beatles.
But anyway, you're absolutely right. One of the world's great groups, and I don't apologise for saying, you're celebrating a group that was out in the '60s for. Their music is literally timeless, in my view.
Yeah.
Talking about the Pacific Coast Highway and all that. What do you think about Boris's view that it's time to bring back the Royal Yacht Britannia?
The Royal Yacht Britannia, which is currently berthed up in Ocean Terminal in Leith, right?
That's right, yeah.
Bringing it back in what guise?
Well, not bringing that one back, because that's now, very old, and it has a job of its own, doesn't it, in Leith? What is it, by the way?
Well, I think the Ocean Terminal is a sort of, it's the waterfront. You know where we stayed in Leith, and we had lunch that time when we were up doing the Edinburgh Festival.
Yes.
Well, if you when we went to that bar to watch a game,
that's right.
If you kept walking along that road,
that's right,
you come to what was the old sort of container docks.
Yeah,
area.
That's right. I've been there because we went to see a boat there called the Ocean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I actually went to look at a flat there once when I first moved to Edinburgh.
Right.
Because it's they were putting
trendy.
up some it was becoming trendy, and they were putting up some really nice buildings and reclaiming some of the water back.
Yeah.
And Ocean Terminal is like a sort of shopping centre as well. And they've got the Royal Yacht Britannia. I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure you can go on it.
Yeah, you can
for a fee.
I think it's like a conference centre or something.
Yeah, I don't think it sails anymore.
Oh, it doesn't sail. Definitely doesn't sail.
But you can go on it and look around it, I think.
Yeah, there's a big problem when whenever an aircraft carrier is decommissioned, there's always the call, make it a museum, make it a hotel. The problems you have keeping a boat in good shape once it's not sailing are monumental. They rust to start off with because they're sitting in water all the time.
Right, yeah.
That's why that great disco on the Tyne in Newcastle, Tuxedo Junction.
Yeah.
You know, the boat sank about every couple of years.
They used
or
to have
something
them
like that.
on the Thames as well.
On the Thames,
I mean, they'd have to replace them every so often.
Didn't they have HMS Hispanola, which was a Spanish restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah, I went there once. Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Well, there was a couple, right opposite, not far from here, it's opposite the Oxford Tower.
Yeah.
There was Hispaniola, and there was another one which was just a nightclub.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. The only one that's actually endured and survived, because it's paid for by government money, is HMS Belfast on the Thames, because that is genuinely a Second World War battleship. And
have you been on that?
Do you know what? I can't remember. I think I have, yeah. I'm not sure. Anyway, the point of my story is...
What is the point of your story?
That John Major, in the dying days of his government, I don't know if he was trying to seek popularity or something, first of all announced we were going to build a new Royal Yacht Britannia after retiring the old one, and then cancelled it, and then... I think Tony Blair cancelled it, actually. I think, I'm right. John Major said, we're going to build a new Royal Yacht Britannia, and everybody, sort of half the country got excited, and half the country said it's a waste of money. And then Tony Blair cancelled it, and then said later that when he visited the Royal Yacht Britannia in its retirement, he wished he hadn't cancelled it because it was a magnificent piece of sort of British heritage.
Yeah, right.
Now, that's the point that...
but if they're going to bring it, or it's just a new one, is it going to be for the Queen? Is that the point?
Yes, that is the whole point. I mean, what Boris Johnson is saying is that because he was a foreign newspaper correspondent, right, he would sometimes work in places where the Royal Yacht Britannia would turn up. And whether the Queen was on it or not, because sometimes it was just the Duke of Edinburgh, who some unkindly say used it as a party boat and all that kind of stuff, you know, or whether it was Prince Charles and Diana on their honeymoon or something like that. He said it used to attract massive crowds. And the most popular man in any city where the Royal Yacht Britannia turned up was the British ambassador,
right,
because all the local officials and all the local rulers, governors, call them what you want, all wanted to get on board Royal Yacht Britannia and have their picture taken and say they dined there. So what he's saying is that if you've got and he said literally billions of pounds worth of trade deals were struck on board the Royal Yacht Britannia from people who were overwhelmed by the Britishness of it.
I'm sure that's probably true, but whether that would be true now is another question.
Well, it doesn't cost much to build a big ship when you look at the size of the British economy.
No, but I suppose given that they can't afford to build them for the Royal Navy, is this really the time to be building them for some other purpose?
It would come under the auspices of the Royal Navy. It'd be a Royal Navy ship, because But
that's what I mean. If they can't build a Navy ship for the purpose of defending the realm, should they be building a kind of a ceremonial?
Well,
one?
that's a very good question, and my view on that is that you have to readjust the defence budget anyway. David Cameron disgracefully pared down the defence budget to a point now where we're a laughingstock in the world. I mean, we just simply don't have any ships which are available, apart from those which are constantly in need.
I mean, just apropos of nothing, I noticed that the Somalians have taken an oil tanker, funnily enough, for the first time since the troubles back in sort of 2013.
Have they really?
So if there's going to be more of that going on, if you've got the Royal Yacht Britannia sailing around the world, you'd rather like it to be protected, wouldn't you?
Well, it would have to be protected, but it always was. I mean, the point is that the Navy, it's a Navy ship, and the first call on the Royal Yacht Britannia is as a support vessel to naval warships. So, for instance, that's the role it undertook in the Falklands War. It had to become a hospital ship and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And that's what it does. But I think it'd be a great idea. Now, people say, little Englander, why should the royal family have their own boat and all that? I don't believe it is that. I mean, for instance, when the Royal Yacht took the Queen to Cape Town to be greeted by Nelson Mandela, right? Yeah. It was the biggest gathering of people in the southern tip of Africa ever, because people just wanted to get there, and see it. When it was used for the Normandy 50th anniversary of D-Day, again, massive crowds came out, elevated the importance of the occasion, all that.
But the other thing I
still think it would have a place in a role in the world.
It might do, but given that the Queen is probably, with the best will in the world, not going to be around for that much longer.
No, Prince Charles will and Camilla will be, and after that, William and Kate.
But will they be the same? Will they have the same draw? I think not.
Well, I think they probably will. By the way, there's a big row going on at the moment, about Prince William being work shy, allegedly, and not doing enough raw jobs, and he's just been pictured, hasn't he, away on a sort of lads' weekend.
Lads' weekend with some rather, shall we say, interesting young women.
Well, very good-looking and glamorous.
Yes, you could say that.
Well, he is a royal prince.
Well, he is, but he's married, though.
Of course he is, and he would know in no way in any way dabble in anything else.
Exactly.
No.
Not even Nettles.
Definitely
now,
not.
Coming up next, it's time for Ask Porky. We're now live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Although some people were saying we were live on Facebook, I just couldn't see it.
No,
I just wanted to make sure that we were
no.
doing it right. So we are now live on Facebook.
Excellent.
It is time for the Porky quiz.
Excellent.
And I'm delighted to say that I'm now being handed, as you can see, the questions for the quiz.
With the 2 sheets of questions.
Shakespeare quiz. Now, would you like to see inside the envelope?
No.
I'm quite happy to show it to you.
I'm not going to be that
else.
petty. I'm not going to be that
petty.
There
is only one sheet of questions, right? And here it is. And you can take the envelope to ensure that I don't have access to it.
Yeah.
I've taken out one sheet. All right, so I don't want you accusing anybody of getting anything, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? Now, you seem to have things in front of you, which people can see.
Only a couple of my journals. And,
you don't need anything in front of you.
Well, what do you want to do? Throw it all away?
I want you just to move it to the side.
No, I'm not moving to the side because I've got to reconstruct the whole desk. There's nothing there.
Reconstruct the desk.
Yeah, there's nothing there that can impossibly.
It's been suggested to me in the past that you should be given that people could tweet you the answers.
Oh, yeah, like how?
Well, if you give me the phone, then that won't happen.
Well, okay, I'll put my phone over here so you can see it. I'm not giving it to you, it's over there.
Why don't you want to give it to me?
Because you might interfere
Because I might
with
see the signs, the things coming up.
No. You might gerrymander my phone. You might interfere with it. You might...
I've got no interest in gerrymandering your phone.
You might divulge information from it.
All right.
Right, go on.
Are you ready for question number 1? Now, the new rules are as follows, okay?
Yes.
You are going to be asked a question.
Yeah.
I will then give you 3 choices, and the answer will either be A, B, or C.
Right.
And that will be the question that I will then ask you,
Okay.
Question number 1.
Yes.
From which play is this quote taken? Listen carefully. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players.
Yes.
Is it A, Twelfth Night? Is it B, Romeo and Juliet?
Yes.
Or is it C, As You Like It?
Right. What were the first 2?
Pardon? Oh, sorry. Do you know what I didn't do?
What?
If it's right, you will hear this sound.
Right.
He is sure possessed, madam.
And if it's wrong, you will hear this sound.
I am as mad as he.
Right,
That's
okay.
good, though, isn't it?
What were the first 2, please?
Do you want them again? A is Twelfth Night.
Yes.
B, Romeo and Juliet.
Right. The answer to that one is Romeo and Juliet.
Incorrect.
No!
I am as mad as he.
It is, in fact, As You Like It.
As You Like It.
Question number 2. This is another quote.
Right.
Some are born great,
Yeah.
some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them.
Right.
Is it answer A, Macbeth? Is it answer B, Twelfth Night?
Yeah.
Or is it answer C, Richard III?
Richard III. Right, okay. Now then, thinking aloud. Definitely not Macbeth. I'm a student of Macbeth. I know every line of every...
No, really?
What do you call it when a play's done? It's not chapters, is it? It's
Acts.
I know every line of every act.
Yeah.
Which leaves it to be... What was the second one?
The second one was Twelfth Night.
Twelfth Night.
And the third one was Richard III.
And this sounds to me like, Richard III, of course, that was all about a brutal battle and that kind of stuff. Twelfth Night was a bit of a sort of dipso sort of comedy. So I'm going for Richard III.
Incorrect.
No!
I am as mad as he.
You should have gone for Twelfth Night.
Twelfth Night.
Question number 3.
Right.
King Lear battles his madness watched by his 3 daughters.
Yes.
Who is the eldest? Is it A, Regan?
Yeah.
Is it B, Goneril?
Yeah.
Or is it C, Cordelia?
Right, thinking aloud here. It's a very unfortunate name for a lady, isn't it, to be called gonorrhea?
It's not gonorrhea.
It was.
It's Goneril.
No,
It's not gonorrhea.
Really? Oh,
It's
okay.
Cordelia.
Yeah.
Goneril.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got 3 daughters. One of them's called gonorrhea.
Yeah.
The other one's syphilis.
Yeah. No, don't be silly. Don't be silly.
the other
Come
one's-
on.
yeah.
It's a family show.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So now, you see, I'm a bit of a student of King Lear.
Oh, yeah.
Because when he's cast out onto the heath, in the wilds.
Yeah.
And he's one of his famous lines is. Blow, blow, thy evil winds, crack thy cheeks,
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't get you any extra points.
And then his daughters come after him to try and rescue him, but I think by that time, hasn't somebody taken his eyes out or something with a rope?
Well, you're the expert.
Yeah. I would say the answer to that one is, without a shadow of a doubt, Cordelia.
Cordelia is not, in fact, the
No.
oldest. Is
I am
incorrect.
as mad as he.
You should have gone with goneril.
Goneril.
All right, here's another quote for you.
Okay.
All that glisters is not gold.
Yes.
Is a quote from the Merchant of Venice.
Yes, that's right.
Who says it?
Who says it?
Yes.
Well, you've got to give me a choice of 3.
Oh, yeah, I've got to do that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, question A is Portia.
Portia.
B, the Prince of Morocco.
Yeah.
And C, Shylock.
Yeah, okay, I know the answer to this one.
Yeah.
It's not Shylock because he's the moneylender and portrayed as a bit of a villain. Who's the other guy? The Prince.
The Prince of Morocco.
Not the Prince of Morocco.
Or Portia.
I think it's Portia. So the answer to this one is A, Portia.
Incorrect.
No!
I am as mad as he.
It's the Prince of Morocco.
Prince of Morocco.
You've got 0 out of 4.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You've
these
got
are
3 choices here.
No, these are awkward questions.
Right, question number 5.
How many questions are there, by the way?
There's 10.
Oh, plenty of times to
There's
make
always
up.
10.
Yeah, okay.
The course of true love never did run smooth.
Yes.
Is a quote from which play? Is it A, A Midsummer Night's Dream?
Yeah.
Is it B, Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
Or is it C, Hamlet?
Right, okay. It's definitely not Hamlet because that's a real nasty, isn't it, you know? Hamlet and...
Not one of the famous video nasties.
Yeah, all about murdering people and all that. So that leaves us with what? Midsummer Night's Dream, yeah, and the other one is what?
Romeo and Juliet.
Right, I know this one. It's not Romeo and Juliet, you know, because the famous line in that one was, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? When she's hanging from the balcony. Wherefore art thou? So it's got to be Midsummer.
She's not hanging from the balcony, is she?
No, I didn't say that, no.
You just said she was hanging from the balcony.
Are you trying to stop me giving you the right answer now?
No, I'm just trying to talk to you about Shakespeare.
So, thinking aloud here,
Yeah.
that brings me to the inescapable conclusion.
Collusion? Who are you colluding with?
No, conclusion.
Oh, what a Freudian slip that was.
Conclusion that it is Midsummer Night's Dream.
Midsummer's Night's Dream.
Yes.
You want to say that again?
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Correct.
Yay!
Possessed,
Woo,
man.
woo, woo. I knew I was on the turn.
That's 1 out of 5. You're on the turn, are you?
Yeah, I was on the turn. Yeah.
Question number 6.
Yes.
Shakespeare wrote a collection of sonnets addressed to a young man and a woman.
Yeah.
Which number sonnet is this one? And the quote is, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?"
Right.
It's known as sonnet number something, right? Is it A, sonnet number 153?
Yeah.
Is it B, sonnet 18?
Yeah.
Or is it C, sonnet 21?
Ah, yes, okay. What was the first figure?
153.
153, 18 or 21?
Yeah.
Yes, interesting. Shall I compare thee... See, that's part of a quote which goes on, shall I compare thee to an English rose? Or shall I compare thee to what?
A summer's day.
A summer's day.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. 18, 21 or 153, right? 153 is a weird number, isn't it, really? You know.
Well, it depends.
I don't think he wrote 153 sonnets, so I think that... this is thinking aloud, by the way, thinking aloud. That's down to 18
give you any clues.
Right, I'm going to go for...
Yeah.
Sonnet number 21.
Incorrect.
No!
I am as mad as he.
It was, in fact, number 18.
I was going to go for 18. I should have gone 18, shouldn't I?
And he did write more than 153 sonnets.
Yeah, it was close. That was very close, that. I should get half a point for that, really.
Now, here's another quote. Why do you get half a point? This is you get 3 choices here, right? You don't get half a point for anything.
No, it's second, though, wasn't it?
This is very midsummer madness,
Okay.
is the quote. From which play does it come? Henry IV, A, B, The Tempest, or C, Twelfth Night?
What's the quote again?
This is very midsummer madness.
12th Night. Now, that's about Christmas, so that could be that can't be Midsummer Madness. Thinking aloud. Tempest, could be The Tempest, could be talking about, you know, the fact that the sea is a bit tempestuous because it's midsummer. And what's the other one?
The other one was Henry IV.
Henry IV, yeah. I'm going for... Wait for it. The Tempest.
Incorrect.
No!
I am as mad as he.
It's actually Twelfth Night. So far, you got 1 out of 7.
Well, you know, I don't like the formula of this new quiz because it doesn't give me enough brain thinking time.
Question number 8. Another quote.
Yes.
I cannot tell what the dickens his name is.
Yes.
Is this from A, Timur of Athens, B, The Merry Wives of Windsor, or C, Hamlet?
What's the quote again?
I cannot tell what the dickens his name is.
The Dickens' name is. Right, okay. Now then, it's not from Hamlet because that's the one about all the murder and all that kind of stuff. King of Scotland and all that kind of stuff.
King of Scotland and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, no, sorry, no. That was something to do with Scandinavia, Hamlet, wasn't it? Sorry,
I think
Macbeth
it was
was the King of Scotland. Denmark,
Macbeth
that's
was
right.
Scotland, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Alas!
can only assume The Merry Wives of Windsor was about Windsor.
Alas, poor Yorick. for I knew him well.
Yorick.
Yorick, yeah.
You mean Yorick?
Yorick, yeah.
Yorick.
Yorick, yeah.
I've just met your friend Syphilis. What was the name of the girl?
Gonorrhea. Yeah. Let me just think this one through. Now, what's the three again? Sorry.
Okay, Timor of Athens, The Merry Wives of Windsor, or Hamlet.
Right.
A, B, or C.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, you might as well just pick a number.
No. I don't just pick numbers.
I've no idea
I
what you're
analyse
talking
my
about.
brain. It is The Merry Wives of Windsor.
That is correct.
Hooray!
That's 2 out of 8.
Thank you.
Question number 9.
See, that's 25%. That's a pass.
2 out of 8. No, where'd you get 25%? It's a pass in anything.
It's a pass.
It is not a pass in anything.
It is.
50% is
Anyway,
a pass.
I can get this up to 4. Go on.
Okay. Which of these teams did Craig Shakespeare not play for?
Right.
A, Walsall.
Yeah.
B, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
C, Hednesford Town.
Okay. He started his career at Walsall. He only spent a year at Sheffield Wednesday, so I doubt if he played for Sheffield United. And he did play for Hednesford, who were non-league. So I'm going to go for Sheffield United.
Correct.
Hooray!
He is sure possessed, madam.
That is 3 out of 9. Can you make it 4 out of 10?
See, that's 33%. That is a definite pass.
No, it's not.
It is.
You don't get a pass for 33%. In what sort of mad college world do you live?
No. Come on, get on with it.
Now we know why.
Now I'm on a roll, you
got
see,
so
trying to
many
slow
A's.
it down.
I'm not trying to slow it down.
Yeah.
Not at all. Question number 10. How many plays did Shakespeare write?
How many?
How many plays did Shakespeare write?
Yes.
Was it A, 38?
38.
Was it B, 35?
Yeah.
Or was it C, 37?
Now, does this include things other than plays?
Only plays.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Because some pieces that he wrote, it's debatable whether they were plays or sonnets or whatever.
Well,
you know
sonnets, the number is 154, as per the earlier question. So clearly this does not include sonnets.
Right. And what's the alternative numbers again, please?
38, 35 or 37.
38, 35, 37. Right. Well, he was very prolific, so that makes me think he wrote a lot of plays, right? But there's not a big difference between 38 and 37. That's the problem.
Well, there is a lot of difference in the 38 and 37.
And there's not a big difference between 37 and 35. See, do you know what? Somebody didn't know the business would go for the median. They'd go for the 37. Thinking aloud, just thinking aloud.
How is that the median?
Well, it's between 35 and 38 in the answers.
It's not technically the median, though, is it?
No, so it's
actually
the middle
closer
one.
to 38 than 35.
You see, I'm thinking almost certainly it's 38, but it could be 37 or 35. I'm going to plump
it could be
for.
none of them, I suppose.
I'm going to plump for. Because it's divisible by 7, 35.
Incorrect.
No!
I am as mad as he.
It is, in fact, 37.
I should have said 37.
Yes. But never mind.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good result then.
How did you like the new system?
Average.
You preferred it to the other system?
Average.
Well, I'd like to tell you that you've done better in this system, but in fact you've done just the same.
Yeah.
3 out of 10.
Well, it's pretty good, that.
Just about as useless as ever. So
the
one constant that we have, whether we use Trivial Pursuit, whether we use the three multiple choice question system, or the straight one answer to one question system, 3 out of 10 is what you always get.
Okay.
Alas for your...
Well, of course, we did have some Beatles music a little bit earlier, which was sung by myself and my sister many, many moons ago.
I think you'll find that the quality of me there, just replicating, one of the Beatles' favourites, classics, help a little greater in quality, a little better in quality.
Well, we shall see. Now, we are live on Periscope, and we're also live on Facebook. Now, have you got, for some reason, your phone on?
Say again?
You've got your phone on, haven't you?
No, I haven't, no.
Well, you've just now switched it off. That's why it doesn't sound like a big echo in the studio.
Yeah.
I know you like to follow yourself.
No.
You're a bit like Liam Gallagher, aren't you?
No.
He follows nobody.
No, I just didn't understand the technology, but don't worry, it's now all sorted.
I'm staggered that you didn't understand the technology.
Right,
anyway,
okay.
This is the place where we ask you as many questions.
Why can't you see it on your screen there, then?
Well, because I don't want to put it on, because if it's on, it means that, I can see it, but if I put it on and put the volume on, then it creates an echo.
I don't want you to do that.
And
Come on, let's get on with Ask Porky, because that's what I'm here for, to help.
OK, well,
Right.
here's the first question.
OK.
From the Verminator. He says, considering everything Porky has ever done and he's brilliant at, if he wasn't a journalist, what sport would he excel at and why?
Sport,
Yes.
are you talking about? Do you know what I wish I'd done? I wish that when I was about 16 or 17, I first learned to drive a car. I felt good behind a wheel, and I also felt I had very, very fast reactions to road conditions. I was immediately very good at peripheral vision and what you call roadcraft. I wish I had taken the decision then to follow a course of action which could have led to me being a racing driver, because I do honestly think I'd have been very good. I'm fearless, so that means that I wouldn't have been worried about crashing the car or anything like that, and also incredibly fast. I once did a test on my own body and I was slightly just slower than the speed of light.
Slightly just slower than the speed of light?
Yeah.
Have you been on a lot of Red Bull tonight?
No.
Right, now,
no.
here's one from Brandon. Can you tell me your funniest childhood memory that you can remember?
I don't think back to funny childhood memories. You know, my life has been a catalogue of improvement along the way, and funny things didn't really happen to me. I didn't want funny things to happen to me, and I don't really celebrate funny things. I celebrate milestones in life, and I've had many of those.
OK.
Yeah.
Paul says this. What did you read into the banner at Leicester tonight, which said, let's slip the dogs of war?
Let's Slip the Dogs of War is, in fact, a reference to Joe Royle's Everton team of 1995, which won the FA Cup. We were in the relegation zone before Christmas.
Why would Leicester be using a banner like that?
I don't know. Maybe because they want to pick up on that. They got the same colours blue and it reminded them of it. I don't know. In December 94, we were in the relegation zone, and our manager, Mike Walker, didn't have a clue, with the greatest respect to him. He's the father of Ian Walker, the former England goalkeeper. Joe Royle took over. He stabilised the club, took us up the league, and we won the FA Cup. Brilliant.
Okay.
Dogs of War.
Glenn says this. Dear Porky, if one day you saw old MG standing outside your local Wetherspoons selling boxes of stolen Porky scratchings for twice the price and making bundles of cash, would you congratulate him on his rat-like cunning and forward-thinking initiative, or make a citizen's arrest, kick him in the short and curlies, and then ring the police?
I'd call the police immediately. Honestly, I can't stand that sort of thing. You know, people who gain an advantage in life through nefarious activities, through theft, through criminality, it's something I just can't abide. However, I would not blame anybody in wanting to deal in the black market in Porky scratchings, because they are so good and they're going to be in demand hugely. Believe me, it's the next great consumer demand.
Believe me, it's one of the great phrases. Terry says, are you planning to hit the Guinness tent this week at Cheltenham with Mr. Alan Bernard Brazil?
No, we're not going to Cheltenham this year. MG and I have got an awful lot on at the moment. We'd hoped to get up there on Friday and join our friends Hawksby and Jacobs, who kindly invited us. Unfortunately, we have so much lined up work-wise Saturday and Sunday, as well as the night before. And on Friday itself, in other areas of the businesses we have to get involved in, we can't do it. But we will be back, I hope, next year.
Here's one from Pete. Says, did you enjoy your week off work?
Well, I didn't really have a week off work, to be honest. I had a week, 4 days actually, when I wasn't here in the studio. MG was in America looking after family matters and checking out things that we may be getting involved in later in the year. But to be honest, it depends how you categorise work. I wasn't in the studio broadcasting for 3 hours, but I was, honestly, I assure you, working, including the launch of what is now probably becoming rather boring to a lot of people, the Porky scratchings in Wigan for 2 days.
Yeah, you've already mentioned that, really.
Yes.
Maxwell says this, Porky, I'm going to be in Europe soon, in June, Croatia to be precise.
Yeah.
I'm looking to travel around some countries for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Is it best to hire a car, a train, or to fly about?
Well, I'd go on train, I suppose. Driving around with a car restricts you in your ability to socialise, because it would be highly irresponsible in any country, particularly a foreign one, to imbibe and then get into a car and start driving around. You could cause problems. I'd go on the train, or I'd short haul on flights, because you can short haul around Europe very cheaply these days. Go to places that you haven't been before. It's always an adventure. I wish you luck.
Jeffrey says this, Porky, should I dye my greying hair or leave it natural?
I'd leave it natural. The only reason I ever started to dye hair was that I got taken on by a TV operation, and I decided to just change my appearance. There was no vanity involved in it. It was to make me distinctly different from the days of radio broadcasting, which I'm now back into, although I do a lot of video stuff.
Even though nobody can see you.
Nobody can see me, but they can actually. There's an awful lot of access to people on radio these days through social media. But the idea of changing your bodily appearance in any way just because you get older and it changes is anathema to me. I just say let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out indeed. Ryan says, which club will Lukaku sign for after saying he'll not be signing a new contract at Everton?
Well, if Lukaku leaves Everton, and I'm not ruling out the fact that he may one day, I just don't like the panic and ridiculous nonsense about, he's not signing the current contract in front of him, it's all over, he's going. If he does leave Everton one day to go to a bigger club, he'll go to one of the biggest in the world. He is a player who will end up as a striker for one of the stellar football clubs in the world. Can't say which one, but one of the very top 3 or 4 in Europe.
Matt says this, Dear Porky, I have a good relationship with my brother and we are going to invest together in property. Do you think it's a good idea? He can be a bit of a plank, but I suppose it has never got in your way.
It's very, very difficult to get into any partnership, whether it be with a sibling or your father or your son, family relationships and all that, and pursue business together. And it's also very, very difficult to pursue business together with somebody who's not a member of your family. Each brings its own problems. Very rarely do you get a duo that works particularly well and successfully. And I would, for instance, nominate Ant and Dec, as 2 outstanding people in a duo together. They're not related, but massively successful. The reason why they are, it is so rare that you can get 2 people who work together like that. Other examples I would give you would be Hawksby and Jacobs here at TalkSport, and of course old MG and myself. To a large extent, we get on well together, but it's a very, very rare commodity.
Here's one from Josh, another football question. As I'm a Forest fan, I want to know, does Porky think Nottingham Forest will ever get back into the top division?
I can't tell you that because it depends on who owns Nottingham Forest. It's always sad to see the demise of a club that's hit the heights, but the problem is that you have to be brutally honest about this. Nottingham Forest exceeded all expectations because of the genius of Brian Clough. It's not a club who, over the decades and the centuries, has been geared to success decade in and decade out. Other big clubs like Manchester United and Liverpool and Everton and Tottenham and Arsenal have been structured for success over centuries, literally. Nottingham Forest were lucky to have a burst of genius. They'll be very, very hard pushed to refine that.
Here's one from Manj who says, my wife's off to Marbella in April with a couple of friends for the 3rd time in 9 months.
Yeah.
If you include the day trip we did there on our family holiday during the summer, that'll be visit number 4. I've told her I think she's taken the mick, but it doesn't seem to faze her. Yeah. What shall I do?
Well, it's entirely up to you. I mean, it depends what relationship with your wife is like. But I would say that, a wife who's going off to Marbella for the 4th time, even though one of them was with yourself, but 3 times on her own, is an unusual phenomenon, an unusual happening. I don't know what age your wife is, but Marbella is a really, lively young people's sort of hangout, Puerto Banús, Marbella, around there. I would say there's something a bit, a bit odd about that.
Kelly says this, the Ballad of John and Yoko was number 1 on the day I was born. Do you know what was number 1 on the day you were born?
I don't think they had a pop chart on the day I was born, to be honest. And if they did, it would be somebody like Elvis or the Ink Spots or something horrible and rubbish like that towards the end of the 50s,
Well, we could look it up and see.
Yeah, we could, yeah. But the Ballad of John and Yoko was the Beatles' last number 1. And, of course, written about the strange relationship that John and Yoko had with the rest of the world. Brilliant record, loved it.
How about this from Pierre? Dear Porky, what is it like being famous? Do you consider yourself a celebrity?
No, I don't consider myself to be a celebrity. I certainly don't.
Your face is on the side of some Porky scratchings.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, well, that's for people who eat Porky scratchings. That's great. And obviously we have people who... excuse me, voice, who listen to us. But no, I don't. You're famous if you've written, a number 1 hit song, if you've, appeared in a film that millions of people have watched, if you are constantly in a soap opera on television, we are just, I suppose, amongst some people we're popular, but I don't think we're really famous.
Oh, OK. Here's one from Gary. I've just emptied out my shed and have a box of old junk that I don't want. What's the address for Postman Pork, please?
No, the address for Postman Pork is 18 Hatfields, London SE1 8DJ.
Right.
We do not accept junk of any sort.
Are you sure about that?
Of course I'm sure of that. However, anything that's worthwhile in terms of interesting that you want to communicate to us, please do. And if it involves having to put in, a model of a Spitfire aeroplane or something like that, that's not a problem. We can handle all that.
One from Suki says, when is Volume 2 of Rooney Tunes coming out?
It's an interesting question, that, because Rooney Tunes, of course, was a one-off. I think you'll find that Wayne Rooney signed a 5-book deal some time ago. In fact, a very long time ago. It might have been as far ago as 2006, I think, 2004. And I don't know if the second volume's ever come out, because the first volume was written by... it was ghostwritten by... Hunter Davis, I think.
Hunter Davis?
I think it was Hunter Davis, yeah. Or certainly a very distinguished author.
Yeah.
And in the last few years, there's been a real problem trying to get numbers up on footballers' books. So the answer to the question is, I think it's in abeyance.
Oh, OK. Here's one final one, I suppose, from Steve. He says, Dear Porky, I would like to buy a new car. Should I purchase a luxury vehicle like MG's or a second-hand cheaper car like yours from my neighbour?
Mine's not a cheaper second-hand car. My car is an elite car. It's only 1 year old now. It's a brilliant car. What I would say is, think very carefully about how you acquire and purchase a car these days, because a very expensive car, which could cost you 50, 60, 70,000 pounds, it's an awful lot of cash to actually stump up on one particular item in your life. You may feel there are other ways of financing having a great vehicle. There's loads and loads of offers around these days. Go and pursue them all.
Thank you very much indeed. That was Ask Porky. There will be another one, of course, same time next week.